That means if you are the full stack developer, then you are responsible to build all the stack, all the layers, all tiers of your development. So as a full stack developer, that's I mean. So you are responsible to build from the backend to middle layer to front end layers, and the combination of the front end layer depending which Java based, JavaScript based, Java JavaScript based frameworks or Java based framework to build the frameworks, or other C or Python, or doesn't matter which front end technology or frameworks or tools you try to use it, and depend on free, because the REST is a platform independent, and it's just like cross platform deployment process, or integration process, or calling process. It's very simple HTTP calls, HTTP protocols, and then that's all. The REST service means microservices. You can deploy any microservices anywhere and call these microservices from the any front end technology. That's I mean. Let's see one example. Like if you go to the Amazon web page, if you want single page, maybe there is a 7 to 10 microservices called to build a single web page, and this is the microservices called from different microservices. Doesn't matter is which backend server it is located, MySQL, Postgres, Cassandra, or Redis, Gamefire, or MongoDB, or doesn't matter other microservices to deploy. So just call the microservices APIs, build your pages. That's the idea. That's why, and that's why I have a really good examples. The screencast like 18, screencast number 18. How can you monitor those applications, those microservice application, web application together in your dashboard with the Micrometer, Grafana, or Cassandra. And this is the monitoring tools that I wrote it down. You can look for my channels, and then the screencast number 18, and it is containing the many videos. You can look for this. How can you monitor the microservice based application? Doesn't matter is it REST API applications or a web service, web application, that depending which front end technology you are using. So this is the really abstract level information, how which data requirements the client had, and then they will they say this is the Redis space. REST API should contain only the two data models, like the user registration, user role. That means they are trying to maintain their user management systems, the content management systems for user, based on these models, like the who the logging user information, like first name, last name, username, password, and so on and so forth. And then user role, if the user is registered, and then they try to define the roles, is admin role, executive roles, engineers role, planners roles, and other roles of the, or if you are applying this application for the insurance company, maybe different employees or staffs, the logging mechanism. Or if you are thinking of the whole health insurance issues, and then health service issues, then they have doctor, nurse, clinics, and then all staff information. They try to segregate. That's I say the monolithic application is nowadays not available, or it is gone. And but they are now every part in the world. All companies now is a microservice world, microservice based applications. That means you have a one application, web application. There's a lot of microservice calling. Maybe one microservice behind the is backend server is looking for MySQL. Other backend server is looking for Postgres. Other backend server for Redis or Gamefire or Cassandra or Elasticsearch, and so on and so forth. It depending which technologies do you try to use it, but there is the possibility how can microservice based application need to be implemented. So that means it's completely free. For this case, we just divide our logging mechanism with the Redis Campfire. But I have many examples like that. I said in my channels, you can go Cassandra with other use cases, Elasticsearch other use cases, and then Gamefire other use cases, Postgres have other cases, MySQL is other cases. Just follow the channel so you get the idea of what I mean, what you can get it from there. So, and now let's have a start to the implementation. That's how can we start the implementation? How can you build projects? maybe everybody, I believe everybody knows this is the one of the the web application, web service, or web pages that start.spring.io. You can very efficiently, very quickly build your Spring Boot projects. That's I mean. So this is start.spring.io. You see there here. You have two options for building the projects, Maven-based projects and Gradle-based project, and you have a selection of the language. So Java, so we are programming with Java, even though you can go with Groovy, and then you can go also the Gradle projections. And then you select your building tools, you select your language, and then you have some Spring Boot versions, and then you put it like, I put it here just like the group ID is UVSoftGroup, the project ID, the project names, and the Artifactory ID name, and some description of the projects. So it is UV is a logging processes, logging processes projects, like logging processes projects, and then so logging processes with and with the REST APIs. You can say customs REST API, because you customize it. Customs, sorry, I cannot type it. Custom REST APIs, and in package-based package ID, you select the two packaging style. That's I said. This is the old school of the packaging, the WAR files. Then you need to maintain the independently your application container or web containers like Tomcat. But if you are standard, we are nowadays standard jar file packaging. That's I said, it's possible to externally configure it. Very efficient, and this is the embedded Tomcat with that one. So you don't need to maintain the web container, application container. You can select the Java versions 14, 11, 12, and 8. So minimum version is 8 is there. So and then the dependency that you're looking for, maybe we need the dependency for the web dependency. You select the web dependency, and then you can search for the REST dependency, REST repository that we need, and then maybe you need a Redis reactive Redis driver access, NoSQL. You see the Redis reactive Redis and simple Redis. We need a simple Redis, and then also we need a DevOps tools for that's I already talked about detailed dev tools into the just your runtime compiling your projects. If you do some wrong things and it's live reloading and reloading, restart the application, reloading and configuration of enhanced development experiences. And we need the actuator. This is the most important part that I already talked is Spring Boot actuator. That's the really important one. So then support build or custom endpoint that you monitor and manage your application, such application health, metrics, session, and so on and so forth. This is, I say, this is the really most important actuator. Actuator dependency injection. If you inject this dependency into your projects, and then you expose all possible application health conditions, metrics, and session information, what you're doing. And that means this is basically Spring Boot actuator is using the micrometer. If you have a micrometer configuration in the application.properties files, and then it's expose all application related health matrices in session information. If you have it, that means later you can use any visualization, monitoring visualization tool. That's I said in the screencast number 18. There is a monitoring tool like Micrometer and Grafana, and then Grafana, and then Prometheus. If I go again to my screencast, that's it's important that I'm trying to focus with you. This is screencast number monitoring the moment. Sorry, Micrometer playlist Spring Boot. This is the screencast number. So you can go, this is the